Good morning, and this is story time with your girl Bree. If you haven't already, go ahead and get your blunt. Yes, I'm 420 friendly. Get your blunt, get your drink. I should show you guys what I'm drinking actually, huh? It's my favorite. Oh, y'all see my edges? They laid, slayed. Yes. By my mama. Secret formula. Okay, anyways. So every Saturday, I will be coming to you guys with some story times in the morning before I get my day started. So today's story is going to be about the day that changed my life forever. Like really forever. So nobody really knows exactly what happened between my son's father and I. So I guess I'll start from the beginning. When I first met him, that's my baby. When I first met him, he was everything that I thought I ever could have imagined, He came from a broken home. I came from a broken home. So we kind of were trying to build each other, kind of mold each other into being the missing pieces that we were missing in our life. He used to be really nice to me. He used to be really good to me. And then I don't know what happened. He started to bring out this ugliness in me, started to make me be somebody who I really wasn't. We were arguing and we were fighting all the time. I must admit that in the beginning, I was the one who hit him first, not promoting domestic violence at all, not even a little bit, but I did start it. So when we split, and then in the midst of us splitting, I did a lot of things to hurt him because he had hurt me. So I wanted him to kind of feel how I felt. So what I did was I went out and I talked to his friends. I did anything that I could. I talked bad about him. Anything that I could do that I thought was going to hurt him, I did it. Not saying that that was good, right, or any of that. I'm completely sorry for those things. I am not that same person today, so I guess it just molded me and made me who I am today. Fast forwarding to back when we got back together, after all of that, he still was holding on to a lot of ill feelings. And so what he did was he would drink and he would come home and he'd beat me up and we'd fight to the death. There's times where I ripped his dreads out, where he gave me a black eye, where we're breaking stuff, just really violent and toxic for each other. We just were no good for one another. One day, we were still trying to co-parent and make it work. We were sharing a vehicle. It was mine's, but I didn't really drive after I got into a car accident, so he drove the car majority of the time. We were on our way to, I want to say a wake appointment or, I don't know, some type of appointment dealing with our baby. And he was supposed to come with me. And I was mad at him. I didn't talk to him. And I don't know. Honestly, it just everything just happened so fast. One minute we were arguing and not getting along. And he started the car. After he started the car, he got to hitting me. I picked up a box cutter and I cut him. That particular event has changed my entire life completely. So I cut him. I called the ambulance to come and help him because he was bleeding a lot. I called my stepdad, Tim, and I had him to come get my baby and to take my baby to my mom. I let my mom and them know that I was going to go to jail. I just knew it. I felt it in my spirit that I was going to go to jail. So I went ahead and I made the necessary adjustments that I needed to and the calls that I needed to make. I went to jail and I stayed in jail for 4 months. Those were the hardest, longest 4 months of my life. I had never been away from my son like more than a couple days, like he'll probably go spend the night at my mom's or something. Outside of that, I was never away from my baby. And so my mom has sent my baby to my grandmother's. And that's where my baby had stayed for a little while. My baby got bored at my grandmother's house, so my mom went and picked him up. When my mom picked him up, maybe later on that night, my son's father had called the police on my mom and said that my mom had kidnapped our son from him or from us. And once that happened, the police went to my mother's house and took my baby from my mother and gave him to his father. And there is where my son has been since. I held a grudge for so long against him, but while I was in jail, I met this lady, Miss Green. She completely changed my whole way of thinking. I went to Bible studies. I read my Bible. I read my daily bread. I was in there fasting. I was in there fasting because I didn't really have no choice. But that was the moment that I needed. I needed that sit down time with God. I needed everything to be stripped away from me. Completely stripped. I was naked before God, I had no choice but to kneel before him and give him everything that I had. I went to court. I thought, you know what? This is my first offense. I've never done anything to anybody that I got caught for. So I should be able to go home. Everyone in the jail telling me, you know what? This is your first offense? Yeah, that's not nothing. You should be able to go home. Wasn't able to go home. The judge offered me 5 years with a strike and a felony. I did not take that. I went to court the following month. They offered me 3 years with a strike and a felony. I did not take it. Then they offered me 2 years with a strike and a felony. And then finally, they offered me time served with a felony, anger management, domestic violence, and I wouldn't be able to carry a firearm. But I'd be able to go home. Well, yeah, I took it. Big mistake. I wasn't wrong. I don't feel like I was wrong. I defended myself. But in California, there is no such thing as self-defense. You have to hit somebody with the same amount of force that they hit you with in order for it to be self-defense. The justice system is corrupt, not just for men, but for women as well. I got 5 years probation, domestic violence classes, anger management, counseling, and I had to pay restitution. So I've done all of those things. And yet and still I sit on probation, waiting to be released and get my life back so I can continue to do the things that I would like to do. It's a big hindrance, and they don't understand that. Honestly, I don't think they even care about how big of a hindrance that they are to the community that they say that they're trying to help. There's plenty of people out in this world that are killing people, raping, and the worst. But yet and still, I defended myself, and still I sit. So today, I wanted to tell you guys about the day that changed my life for the better. And I say for the better because that made me start thinking about my actions. I wasn't thinking about my actions before. I felt like my actions had no consequences. I was being reckless with my life, not understanding that I do have children to live for. So yes, that was one of the worst experiences that I've ever experienced. But it helped me grow. It helped me to understand that I am an adult now, and I am held responsible for anything that I do. With that being said, that's the end of my story, and I'll have another story for you guys next Saturday. You guys have a great day, and don't forget, smoke your herbs.